Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how you could use bash, Dmenu and MPV together to pull out the stuff from YouTube and seeing it locally with the help of MPV player. Okay, so it will present you your search on Dmenu. Once you select the item, it will go ahead and play the video from YouTube in MPV locally. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so heads up, I found this space on internet and I forgot where, and I have modified little and done the basic part what this script demands to do, which I'll explain you in a moment. Okay, to give you some sort of demonstration, let me get into my terminal, which I have already opened. So let's start with the demonstration. Okay, so I run i3 window manager exclusively for the past seven years. I have said it many times. I'm just saying it for the sake of, because one of the component is involved there. That's why I'm just giving a reminder to the people, whoever is watching or listening. So I use i3 window manager. So there is a key bind which will cause the stuff to get going. Okay, so I have a key bind. Mod is alt in my keyboard. So mod Y. Look at the top of the screen where, let me take it out, so you can see it's clearly written search YT video. Okay, so if I write something like that, Emacs, and if I press enter, now you see I just given a query term on that particular prompt, written Emac. It could be anything if you want to extract out of YouTube, and enlisted. I have enlisted the entry in 20, I believe. You could use more number to fill up this enlisting. I think 20 is good number for me. That's why I restricted to 20. You could use more number or less number as per your requirement. Okay, so now if I go here, so I select random entry, right? And if I press enter, just give it a little bit time. It will basically pulling up the video from the YouTube and playing it through MPV. It takes a little bit of time. Just have patience. See? So it pulls up from the video from the YouTube and started playing with MPV. Okay? So you can see the MPV interface down bottom of the screen. So this is very convenient. So you do not have to go to the YouTube interface, and you get the stuff right in your machine and started to play to. MPV is a bloody good player, a video player and music player, right? So this is a very convenient way of seeing YouTube stuff right into your machine without going into visiting YouTube on browser. Okay, so how everything happening, let me show you the stuff what is behind this all mechanism. Okay, so cat bin, I told 1,000 times in my previous video that I give my file or script name to the as explicit as possible as for the job they are going to do. Search YouTube videos. This is the name of the script. Okay, basically it does that, right? That's I shown to you. And if So this is the small program. What it does, it checks out whether the URL is given to the prompt. If it is not, it will back out. Okay, so that's why the -z operator there within the testing parameter. Okay, so it checks whether the URL, the $1 notation is for the URL which you have, which has to be passed. Okay, or that it's not the URL, I misspoken, it's the search term. If there is no search term in the very first place while showing the prompt, it will simply back out. Okay, so if I do, you see closely, look at the search prompt on the top of the screen. If I escape it, nothing happened. That's what that if it shows me that, but that's what this first if stanza stands for. Okay, so now the next thing is that it will simply added a gap. Okay, to that. This is a bash way of replacing something. Okay, the query statement you were seeing. Okay, next, you have to have a specific key from Google to get things going like this. All you have to do, you have to the Google API online place where you probably had the Google API. You search on the internet, it's very easy to go there and create a specific API key and induct in one of the file in your home directory. As you can see, my API key relies on Google YouTube API key. I give the explicit name to that file. Okay, so I don't have to remember it. So it contains the API key which you have to create in the Google site by going to the Google site, and then you have to bring that back API key and put it in a file, probably under your home directory, which is what I have. Okay, then there is a variable you can see called URL string, which is simply going to take this URL, Google APIs.com YouTube version v3, then search, then part, then it's equivalent to snippet, and then the query is the very first prompt you have to. I gave Emacs, if you remember a few minutes back, in the first very query prompt. That's what that variable is there. That variable is going to hold the query term you provided to the first prompt it shows you. Okay, so and then it will look for a type video, and as I said, I restricted it to 20. The number of video URL will be shown in the Dmenu will be 20. As you can see, it has been assigned to the variable result. Okay, and then you have to provide your YouTube API key, which you gather from there or created from there. Okay, I am skipping the API key creation, which is very easy to find, and you need to go and figure it out, because it will help you. Because if you already done it for other application, it could be a cakewalk. If you haven't done so, it will be a learning experience for you to go to google.com, look for how to create get a Google API. Is pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to show you that process. Okay, so then I use MPV, as I said, and MPV has a flag YTDL format. YouTube has various other formats too, so I choose best, and then there is a kind of pulling from HTTP, then use car to get the URL string, then use the JQ. Okay, JQ binary, it has to be installed in your system beforehand, otherwise, because it will be segregating or pulling the stuff like items and snippet, channel title and all this stuff. and there is pointing to youtube.b is a prefixed one, and every damn single video in YouTube has a ID which is pretty unique. So that is getting assigned here. Then lastly, it will pipe all to Dmenu, which you show the enlisting. Okay, then it pipe it to awk to provide the number of fields. Okay, so let me show you one more. It's the last 4 line probably looks intimidating to people who are not accustomed to this kind of stuff. The credit has to be given the original author. As I said, I have modified it and do it in my way. The basic structure of written by somebody else who is wise enough to disclose it on the internet, and it hooked me, so I get it and modified it and I used it for my sake. But if you find the original, give the person the credit who deserve it. I forgot where I get it. Apology for that. But before I let you go, let me try to show you the demonstration. You see, this is the program. It's just a 10-line program, a simple bash written it. Maybe those who are not familiar, little complicacy down the line in the last 4 problems. But if you look very closely, it's pretty simple. Only probably the JQ part, probably nowadays people are very aware of it, right? So few years back, people may not be aware of it. So if you look closely, it's pretty darn simple. So before I let you go, let me try it one more time. So it will be aligned with what you are seeing on the screen right now. The code, how it performs. I have a bind that is mod y. You look at the top of the screen. It's saying search YouTube video. That's why I written to the Dmenu prompt. Look at the top under the if menu. Right, search YT video. So if I write Emacs, I have to give a query term. You can see the query is there, which is having a space padding. Okay, so if I press enter here, and now because it has got YouTube API key, so it doesn't ask you for the authentication, because that Google API key will give you the authentication to search through its database and provide you the listing. What you are seeing, the last part of this MPV statement, which is piped to Dmenu, and it will only show you the 20 result. That's what it is showing through Dmenu. If you can use your arrow key to go down and up, okay, and you can highlight any of the entry what is been presented to you through Dmenu and just press enter, and it will going to fetch the video URL from YouTube and started to playing with the help of MPV. It will take a little bit of time. You have to have the patience, okay, and it will fetch and probably cache. MPV also cache, and it will start playing with the MPV player. Pretty cool, right? So I thought it will be interesting or help generate some interest to people who like to visit YouTube for specific things to consume. I do personally. So all it does, it will bypass to visit YouTube on browser. You do not have to go to the browser and visit youtube.com. You can do it straight from the terminal, or like the way I have mentioned. I've taken advantage of my window manager and Dmenu system, which will help greatly. If you want, you can write that damn script directly right on the terminal itself. Okay, that will do the crucial part. You have to remember that you need to google.com and you need to get a API key of your own to use with this service, because unless you have that API key, Google will not allow you to get the stuff from their YouTube database, which is enlisted through Dmenu what you saw. So make sure before doing it, you have to have your YouTube API key, which has to be put in a file, probably under your home directory. As you can see, I have done that, and then call it up. Okay, so this is so as you can see, you need to provide that API key at the end of the URL listing line, so that it will without prompt it will fetch the stuff from there and then list locally. So I hope it will be useful for some people. Thanks for watching.